If you're looking to produce immersive multi-camera live broadcasts, this video will help you find the best capture card setup to run reliable, high-quality, two-camera productions. We tested some of the top capture cards and streaming devices, including the Elgato Cam Link, Magewell USB Capture, YoloBox Pro, and even iPhone and webcam setups. This video will show you the image quality and stability of each, and I'll provide my recommendations on the best setup to achieve reliable, high-quality streams. The goal was that we would run identical tests across each of these devices, really paying attention to the quality of the video, identifying if we were dropping frames, if our audio stayed in sync, and just overall ease of use as well. We wanted this to be as authentic as possible. We had the two GH4 cameras with identical settings. All of the tests were done in 1080p, 30 frames per second. There's no LUTs, there's no filters. Everything that was done in the test was coming straight from the camera into the capture card device, and then of course into OBS. We also live streamed it, so everything you see in those live tests are exactly what an audience would expect if this were a different production. The other thing I'll note is the lighting is the exact same across all scenarios. We also kept our audio chain the exact same as well. So we ran our audio through our Mackie Pro Effects 10-channel mixer. The big difference was just the capture device itself. That was the way that we approached having this as real world as possible while trying to achieve that dual cam setup. Off the bat, what we saw was a little interesting, starting with the Elgato. So the Cam Link is going to set you back about $99. Periodically, there are sales that happen that maybe knocks off, I think I've seen it as low as $85. But generally you're gonna pay about $100 for each of the Cam Link devices. Elgato was a very clean image. The colors looked pretty close to what they would look like coming out of the camera, so very neutral in color. The image quality looked really good, but what we noticed over time was that it did quietly drop frames, and so there's kind of the stutters that happen. You'll notice those stutters and drop frames in the playback. It surprisingly was not apparent in the actual stream. So as I'm monitoring, I do have a monitor in front of me. I did not see that during the stream, but when I looked back at it, it definitely happened. And I think it happened in greater frequency because we were using two Cam Links. Your results will vary based on your USB bus power, and you'll want to try to have your devices set up on different USB controllers as much as possible to prevent any type of conflict that could happen with having more than one connected to your computer at the same time. The Magewell is going to set you back about $320 per device. So if you're looking for two devices, that's going to set you back about $650. The color looked pretty close to what we were getting with the Cam Link. The Magewell was slightly warmer. It froze like 2 or so times. It didn't skip any frames, but it just froze completely for a few seconds and then it resumed like nothing happened. And then, of course, it happened again and then it resumed. I think I prefer that versus kind of that silent dropping that happened with our Cam Link. They are USB devices, so it's probably more than likely USB bus issues. The Magewell just in general has been a very solid device. I tend to pull for the Magewell over the 4K Cam Link because it just, one, ends up giving me a more crisp image generally. And then when I have issues with the 4K, I find that the Magewell is just solid. It's rocking along and it tends to drift a lot less than the Cam Link. I continuously have issues with this device and it gets really, really hot when you're running it. So Magewell gets warm as well, but it does have some onboard processing that seems to kind of offset some of that. Our third test, the YoloBox Pro. At the time of this recording, the YoloBox Pro will run you about $999. For this particular device, we used it as a USB pass-through device. So we weren't using the full functionality of this device. We just simply were using it in monitor mode, and we had it plugged in via USB-C, and then we had a program out going to our OBS setup. Overall though, we kind of got a little bit of both. We got dropped frames. We also had a couple of short freezes. We immediately saw a much darker and more contrasty image. I personally prefer either the Cam Link or the Magewell image look. The capture card will impact the color that you get in your stream. There are ways to counterbalance that because we are running things through OBS Studio. So you could adjust the colors to your preferences. But like I said, we decided to try to keep things as clean as possible just so we could see the differences across the devices. For fun, I also did another test. I did not publish the live results because it was just a fail. So I thought I could run the YoloBox Pro HDMI out through the Cam Link. That did not work. So Cam Link would not even accept the signal from the YoloBox Pro. So I did try the same setup with the YoloBox Pro running HDMI out to the Magewell. What I discovered was that the image looked really distorted. So I was not getting the 16:9 ratio. Something was just off with it. What I ended up having to do was reframe the image in OBS through cropping. What I also discovered was the YoloBox Pro is actually sending a 4:3, which is why my image was boxy, and then also RGB, which is why after some research, I discovered that the Cam Link does not accept RGB color profiles. So the Magewell came through with more of a flexible option because it does accept multiple color profiles and seems to be a lot more professional in that way and allows for that flexibility across different devices. Unfortunately, this was not repeatable. I came back the next day and I could not get past the HDMI to the Magewell to work. It's not something I would recommend because, like I said, it just wasn't consistent enough. Our last test, iPhone and the webcam. If you know, you know how much the iPhones run. This one is the Pro Max, so this was about $1,000. The Logitech webcam was about $50. So you can kind of mix and match depending on what you have available. We used the C920 as our primary. I don't like the C920 look, despite trying to match all of the settings. The image was just so washed out. So we were using the iPhone for our overhead shot for our gear. Because it's using the continuity camera, there's really no opportunity to adjust any of the settings. So what you see is what you get. There's no manual settings, which to me is a little bit of a letdown. This worked perfect. What you will notice is that we do have the famous C920 flicker that happens. Again, more of a device issue, not exactly a live capture problem. The iPhone, again, worked flawlessly in this particular scenario. We do know that this setup has some potential issues. Our continuity camera is dependent upon the network. If there's any interference in the network or any type of challenges like bandwidth, that could impact your ability to use the continuity camera as your second view. The other thing that was kind of a challenge for me, I use my iPhone to control a lot of different aspects of my production. I use it to control my lights. I use it to control my camera. It really serves a function in my day-to-day production. So having the camera tied up over in my overhead shot, which is back here, I found that to be just a little bit disruptive to my workflow, and I really just did not prefer it. I would rather invest the money in even $100 capture card in order to free up my phone, because I could see that also being a problem if a phone call comes through and the continuity camera could get interrupted. I don't see that as a long-term setup. If you're just getting started and you're looking to do a multi-camera setup, in terms of plug and play and simplicity, again, with some trade-offs, definitely the Elgato. You get the 4K capability, which you could use for recording and live streaming, but it's gonna be really critical that you isolate each card into its own USB controller just to prevent conflicts, because that is a well-known issue with the Cam Link. If you're looking for pro grade, reliability, and just overall a flexible capture card, the Magewell. This one fails gracefully, and it just works. If you're looking for a mobile setup and mobility is your #1 priority, then I would recommend the YoloBox Pro. I personally don't recommend it as a pass-through device. It does stand out if you want a standalone switcher or a mobile streaming setup, because that's exactly what it was meant for, not so much as a pass-through device. And let's just say if you are unable to splurge on any additional gear at this moment, but again, you have a need to expand your setup and you're in the Apple ecosystem, you'll definitely want to try the iPhone continuity camera and a USB camera as your 2-camera setup. Here's what I want to stress. There really is no best capture card setup. Every single one of these scenarios had some quirks to it. There was no like perfect stream that happened. I think it's really important to not chase just the specs, right? So obviously 4K sounds really great. I think it's more important to chase consistency. The more you can kind of plug and play and get the same results over and over, that's to me the real win. A setup that allows you to stay creative instead of having to put on like your tech hat and then you're trying to get back into that creative mode. If you want to check out the raw, unedited live tests that were conducted, those are linked in the description. Thanks for following along, and if you like this type of content and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel, like, and of course share this with someone who you think could benefit, and we'll see you soon.